Hey everyone, so let's talk about if the new iPhone 16e is worth buying. So of course the first thing is going to be the pricing. So here in the US, these are $600. The SE that they replaced, or pretty much replaced, was only $430 when you're talking about unlocked for both phones. So there is about a $170 difference in pricing. But now if you compare the 16e at $600 to the regular 16 at $830, again unlocked, there is a $230 difference. So I think more of the question here is it worth saving $230 over the regular 16? So of course you have a whole bunch of differences between these two phones, but I think a lot of them are differences that most people are not really going to care about, except for a couple of major ones. And one of them you can see right now is going to be the cameras on them. So with the 16e, it only has one lens. The 16 has two lenses. Going actually into the camera app here, we can see the main differences with those. With the 16e, we are only at 1x zoom. You cannot go below 1x zoom. And you get up to 10x zoom with the 16e. And then there is no macro lens. So there's no ultra wide and there is no macro lens. Whereas with the 16, the regular 16 here, we have down to 0.5x zoom and up to 10x zoom, just like with the 16e. So you actually get the ultra wide lens, and then you also get the macro there as well, as you can see there. You can get nice and close. There are some other differences with the cameras, such as the 16e has more megapixels than this 16e has. So 16 overall is a better camera experience than what you're going to get with the 16e. Another main difference is going to be that both of these do have the A18 chip in them, but with the 16e you actually lose one of your GPU cores. So the regular 16 gets 5 GPU cores, whereas the 16e only gets 4 GPU cores. For most people, I really don't think that's going to matter much. In my own experience using both of these phones, I've really not experienced any difference between them. For me, I do Monster Hunter now quite a bit, and then I also do a little bit of Roblox there. For those two games, there's really no difference. You're going to maybe notice a difference when you get into crazy high-end gaming, or like if you would go Monster Hunter now and max out the graphic settings, you might notice a difference then. But I think for most people, probably not going to notice a difference. Another major or more major difference is going to be the battery. With the 16e, you actually do have a bigger battery. It is supposed to last a little bit longer than on the regular 16. But with that said, you do not get as good of a charging experience with them. So with the 16, you get 20 watt wired charging, same thing with the 16e. But if you are a wireless charging person, with the regular 16, you get MagSafe, which you do not get on the E, and then you also get 30 watt MagSafe, which is pretty dang fast. Whereas on the 16e, there is no MagSafe, and you only get 7 watt wireless charging, which is not very quick whatsoever. And then another difference that people might notice, or will notice actually, is going to be the notches up top here. So with the 16e, you get the notch, whereas with the 16, you get the dynamic island, which is a really cool feature. We're going to do a little bit of Roblox to show off the gaming, that there really is no difference, as long as you're not doing anything too crazy. But one more minor difference you might notice if you do not use a case is, since the 16e only has one lens, there's not that bad of a wobble to it, whereas the 16 actually has a lot more of a wobble. Going to show off a bit of Roblox. So we are in manual all the way up graphics mode here. Just going to do Arsenal for a quick second to show 60 frames per second. And yes, I'm going to be terrible at this, but you see it drops a little bit below 60. Other times it's trying to go above 60. That's what you're going to be stuck at, is about 60 frames per second, just because that is what the iPhones are capped at, or mobile is going to be capped at, is 60 frames per second. Again, this is on the E. Same thing with the regular 16, max graphics, Arsenal. That's going to be the same thing. We're capped at 60 frames per second. And it's pretty much going to try to go above 60 frames per second, but it's not allowed to. It just is not able to. And it's just going to be stuck there. Again, it might go a few frames below that at times, but you're pretty much going to be at 60 frames per second while playing Roblox games. And to show off just regular performance here, we'll go into like Best Buy's app. And we'll see they'll both pretty much load in at the same time. Let me put these back how they actually were. If we go onto the internet, go onto the Conqueror's website, and see for the most part they are basically the same on speed, because again they are using the same chip, just a little bit, just one GPU core less on the regular, or on the 16E. The regular 16 has one more GPU core. I mean, for general use, they are both going to be basically the same on speed. Both are very, very quick. So I think for most people, yes, the 16E is going to be just fine. I think a lot of people were hoping for a smaller phone, kind of like the 13 mini. I know people were hoping for the 13 mini's body with the A18 chip in it and whatever else this all has in it. But I think for most people, the 16E will be fine over the 16, as long as you don't care about the camera or that one GPU less core. But the more major thing being, I think, that camera. Of course, there are other differences I did not mention in this video. If you want to hear about more of the differences, you guys can check out my channel. I made a differences video between these two, along with that versus a couple of the older iPhones as well. You guys let me know what you think, though. I think for, at least here in the US, we have over $200 difference between the two. I think the 16E is still going to be worth buying. But y'all let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.